Welcome to Classified Captures.
Steve here, and today we've got a wild lineup of clips ranging from evidence of conspiracies you've never heard of to clips of cryptids you never even knew were out there. Ready to have your mind blown? Let's dive right in. Right off the bat, we start with a crazy one. Well, crazy is a bit of a strong word, but I'm used to it anyway because of the backstory of this clip. So according to the uploader of the clip, the man operating the digger noticed that there was a creature stuck in the mud. Being the good man that he is, he has his heavy machinery in place to move the animal out. He was successful in digging it out of the mud and essentially saving its life, but when he finally saw what it looked like, he panicked, left the area and quit his job. That doesn't add up now, does it? Many people who saw the clip you're seeing stated that the creature had to be something paranormal or otherworldly. While many in the community tried to find the creature's true origins, there were some who were quick to point out that the creature looked like a deer and that the story was most likely fake. This led to an all-out virtual war in the comments section, with some claiming that this was legit and others stating it was false. We may not be able to end the war, but maybe we can come to a conclusion amongst ourselves. Personally, I'm convinced this is nothing but a deer, but I'd want to hear your thoughts on this so we can close this chapter and move on to something else. What do you say? Next, we moved to Washington, D.C., where strange loud booms were heard. With all the alien stuff going on and Washington, D.C. being the seat of government, some have stated this was a statement by aliens. You know, the popular alien catchphrase, "Take me to your leader." Yeah, some think the aliens are making a statement by doing this. While that sounds interesting, I have a feeling that this might just be supersonic jets moving within the area if the clip and audio are true. I mean, why would they decide to scare our leaders with loud sounds? Earplugs have been a thing for many decades. Anyway, that's just my take. What's yours? Also, do any of you live around Washington, D.C.? Can you confirm hearing strange loud noises in the sky? Please respond in the comments section so we can pass judgment on this one.
So it would implant synthetic memories of a crime from the victim's perspective into a criminal's brain.
So I'm not sure how to feel about this next one, but here we go. Cognify is something you don't hear about on the news, but people are definitely talking. It's said to be an experimental prison system that doesn't use guards at all. Instead, AI monitors inmates' brain activity in real time. If someone starts having a dangerous thought or a sudden emotional spike, the system steps in and shuts it down before anything actually happens. But it doesn't stop there. Cognify is reportedly designed to make criminals feel exactly what their victims felt. A thief might experience the fear and violation of being robbed. A rapist is forced to feel the terror and helplessness of their own crime. A murderer relives the pain and panic of dying. Supporters say this kind of tech could change everything. If you can rewire someone's brain to fully understand the damage they've done, maybe you don't need years of jail time. Maybe you can reduce rehab time to days or even hours. But not everyone is buying it. Critics say it's crossing a terrifying line, that it's not rehabilitation, it's mental torture. And here's the strangest part. There are no public records of any of this. No official documents, no confirmation, nothing. Just rumors, strange disappearances, and the growing suspicion that this isn't science fiction. It's already happening somewhere we can't see. There's no evidence to back this up, but we hear whispers of it in the community and thought to share it. Maybe you guys also know something you wouldn't mind sharing.
Welcome to Cognify, a facility designed to treat criminals like patients instead of spending years in an actual prison cell.
Imagine going over your CCTV cam footage for the previous night and seeing this. That's not a sign anyone would want to see unless you're some sort of ghostbuster or paranormal enthusiast, if you know what I mean. The individual whose camera system recorded this stated that he'd not had any strange encounters at home. His life was completely normal. Seeing this therefore spooked him, which caused him to upload it online seeking answers. Almost everyone who saw it believed the smoke-like figure or entity moving in the clip was some sort of ghost. What they couldn't, however, agree on was why the ghost was moving around the property. Some felt it was because it belonged to someone who lost their lives on the property, whereas others felt it was definitely evil spirits at work. Personally, it's hard to give my verdict without additional information, but what do you guys think?
Whoa.
This video has been circulating in the paranormal community for some days now, and I must say it's gorgeous. If you've been on this channel for a while, you know how much we appreciate clips that aren't blurred, and this one is one of those rare qualities we like. Now, I digressed. What exactly is this clip about? Well, we don't know. The clip captured something in the sky that was already seen on the same day from different states like Texas and Arizona.
No, sí es Omni, aquí se puede ver en el teléfono, claro.
Many who saw it thought it was a SpaceX launch, and I must say that explanation has become the norm for clips like this. Even though many quickly accepted the explanation, there were a skeptical few who believed there was more going on than the government is covering. According to them, this was nothing but a spaceship moving within our atmosphere. Some even stated they lived far away from any SpaceX center and also saw it vividly as though it had been launched in their hometown. It's just been a cocktail of opinions and experiences, and while they all sound interesting, not all can be true. There's only one truth and reality. Can you help us define which of these options it is?
No, de acá se ve mejor, ven.
Que venga hasta acá, panino.
Te lo estás perdiendo, suyita.
You know how we always talk about Bigfoot and other paranormal beings patrolling the woods, yeah? Well, it turns out Bigfoot might not be the only thing or person we have to worry about. Yeah, that just happened. Imagine if he didn't see it. Not sure why, but someone had actually set up this booby trap on the trail. Bigfoots, skinwalkers, and other paranormal beings are known for many things, but booby traps aren't some of them. This definitely has to be human, but why? We can't say for sure. Some in the community think the biker may have gone through the trail of private property and that the owner likely did this as a means to discourage bikers from using his trail. Even if that were the case, well, this is too much. Some in the community are, however, skeptical. They feel this was all staged to make a viral video. While that makes a lot of sense, not many are buying into it. Personally, I hope that's the case, but this isn't the first time we're seeing something like this. Hopefully, it's the last. If you're wondering what's going on here, well, you aren't alone. I watched this over and over and over and became a little sad. Now, I'm the last person who will judge people for their life choices as long as it doesn't hurt them or others, but this hurt me, and I'm sure it's hurting them too. So this is a training shelter for humans who identify as dogs. In fact, what you're seeing is an obedience competition being carried out for these humans who identify as dogs. I know we all sometimes wish we were something or someone else, but come on. We have to come back to reality and do our best to make the best of the cards we've been dealt. This feels like running away from reality, and it doesn't help anyone, especially those being encouraged to do this. I feel society may be headed for a rough time if we don't correct any of these. Well, maybe I'm the one that has it all wrong, but what do you guys think about this?
I wonder if they like dogging. Do you think we screwed the pooch on this one? Are we barking mad? I could go on.
It all started a few years ago when some friends took the image you see on your screen. They were visiting a buddy's trailer in Pennsylvania for the Slovenian Festival, a fun weekend, not the ordinary. But while they were there, someone brought up an all-tragic story. A little girl had drowned in the river nearby years ago. Most of them didn't think much of it at the time, just a sad local tale. Later that day, one of them took a quick Snapchat while the others were posing for the camera. They swore there was no one behind them. The spot was empty, clear as day. But when they looked at the photograph again, there was someone standing there. Someone they hadn't seen. Someone who wasn't supposed to be there. As it is with clips like this, they freaked out and shared the footage online, and that's where many theories came in. Many agreed it could be the spirit of the girl that had died. Some felt it was all staged, but I don't know. I really want to believe this is legit, and maybe that might be making me biased, so please let me know what you think. This clip was brought to our attention by a Bigfoot enthusiast on this page. According to him, he was scrolling through Instagram when he saw this clip. A Bigfoot sitting on a tree. The person who had uploaded it stated it was something he had seen while exploring the woods and wanted people's opinions on it. Many in the comments were convinced this was the real deal, but some felt the behavior was too human-like to be a Bigfoot. To them, it felt like this was nothing more than a human in a costume posing as Bigfoot on top of the tree. Some even went ahead to mock the whole thing, stating that if he fell, the suit would give them some protection. When you think about it, this being fake is a possibility, but if that is really the case, it's hard to say. What are your thoughts? Without me saying anything, what do you think is coming up those stairs? If you said a pet, it would be understandable. But you would also be wrong. The person who recorded this clip doesn't have any pets, so what came up those stairs? Well, she doesn't know, which is why she uploaded the clip. She was suspecting something otherworldly was in her home, but there were no other signs to suggest or confirm this beyond the clip you just watched. This is why she uploaded this clip on a paranormal page in the first place, hoping someone would give her answers. It was in the same paranormal group that she was advised to go to the police and that she might have an intruder in her home. Thinking about it, that's the most logical response. Some also felt that wouldn't amount to anything because, well, she's probably dealing with a skinwalker. If I were her, however, after reporting it to the police, I would have put in measures to catch whatever that is, be it human or paranormal. But let's just say that was indeed a skinwalker. How do you think she would have dealt with it?
Is that a bear? It's not moving. What is that? What is it? Oh! Yeah, this just really doesn't feel right. Oh my god, did I catch that on camera? No, I saw that. I know. Okay, I'm leaving.
This clip is a tad unusual. We're introduced to a lady filming what appears to be a mess on a tree. In the clip, we can hear her panicking because, well, she's not sure what she's looking at. She keeps filming, and at one point we see her turn around and run, probably because she feels she saw the mass moving. Personally, I didn't see it move, but some in the community think it's a juvenile Bigfoot pretending to be an inanimate object. I've looked at the object several times, and I do see the semblance they're referring to. However, people who have more experience in the outdoors say it's just a fungus. Can any of you confirm that for us, and if possible, educate the rest of us who are afraid of the great outdoors? We'll be reading through the comments section.
What is it? Yeah, this just really doesn't feel right. Oh my god, did I catch that on camera? No, I saw that. I know. Okay, I'm leaving.
Speaking of unusual, take a good look at this. It's a CCTV recording, but it shows something rather unusual and profound. A man was moving through the grocery store when he went by one particular shelf. Wait, there are shelves all around the place. I meant to say he went by the frozen yogurt or ice section. Yeah, that's it. Once he's gone past the whole section, some items fly off the cabinet or shelf depending on where you live. It's almost as though someone was throwing these objects at him, but that shouldn't be possible, right? Well, that's what you're seeing. This shocked those working in the shop, and they had to resort to reviewing the CCTV cam to make sure that they were seeing things right. After reviewing the clip several times, they confirmed that they'd actually seen these things happen as they did. What they couldn't confirm, however, is why it happened like that, or how it happened in the first place. Some think it was a ghost, perhaps the spirit of someone he'd annoyed, whereas others suspected it might be a poltergeist. There are some who also state it could be sorcery. The theories are basically endless, but there are some who also feel there's got to be a logical explanation or the whole thing was staged. To be sincere, you can't fault that reasoning, but what do you guys think anyway?
Watch all of this over here.
This next one is a bit concerning and emotional. When you watch the clip, you can see a grandmother talking to someone, but she's the only one in the room. The individual who shared this states that the woman in question is about 99 years old and doesn't remember much about the night. She, however, suspects that Grandma may have been visited by her deceased grandson who wanted to comfort her. That's the only explanation she could come up with due to the nature of the experience and the kind of responses the grandma gave. This one feels a little above my pay grade because it all sounds so real, but has anyone ever experienced something like this? When I first saw this, my first thought was, Godzilla! While that sounds cool and all, we got one small problem. This guy isn't as large. So I tasked one of our new interns here to find out what this was. And well, you wouldn't believe what she came back with. It's an iguana. Can you imagine? Iguanas, especially marine iguanas found in the Galapagos Islands, are incredible swimmers, a rare trait amongst lizards. The one you're watching with black and white markings might be a marine iguana, which uses its long, flattened tail like a rudder to glide through the water in a side-to-side motion, almost like a serpent. The sharp claws help them grip on rocks underwater while they feed on algae, and they can hold their breath for up to 30 to 40 minutes. The black and white markings help them absorb heat quickly after a cold swim, letting them return to basking on lava rocks and keeping their body temperature stable. It's wild, like watching a mini dragon take a casual dip, wouldn't you agree?
Godzilla!
Imagine sitting in the public restroom and seeing something like this. Initially, I thought it was a spider, and then within a few seconds, it changed to an octopus-looking thing, and then it started to swim in the ground. I was about to call this one out for being AI until our intern asked me if I was not aware of the Malaysian floods from 2023 and how they brought aquatic creatures into people's homes. I've dealt with Julius looking down on me for not knowing some real-world events, but the last thing I was expecting was to deal with it from my personal intern. But I'm a big guy, I'm no longer proud, I'm humble now, I listened to her and learned a lot. So Malaysia basically had a bad flood 2 years ago that caused many of the aquatic animals to go into people's homes. What you're seeing is just one of the clips from that flood incident. Since then, many have tried to use this video to suggest something paranormal occurring, but it's basically just a clip of a baby octopus that found its way into someone's house. Who would have thought?
Berenang dek ikan dalam bilik kau.
But I'm a big guy, I'm no longer proud, I'm humble now.
If you've ever discovered something like this in a tree, what would be your honest reaction? Personally, I may be tempted to investigate the other trees and see if they also contain other valuable items. The man who discovered this one, however, chose to record the whole thing and upload it online, telling everyone he'd possibly discovered the hideout of a leprechaun. At least, that's the version of the story I heard. Leprechauns are tied to gold because, according to old Irish stories, they used to work as shoemakers for fairies, and apparently they got pretty well paid for it. Since they lived alone and didn't spend much, they'd stash their gold in secret spots, usually deep in the forest or, as the legend goes, at the end of a rainbow. Over time, people started to say that if you got caught by a leprechaun, you could make him tell you where his treasure was. That's where the whole pot of gold thing comes from. It's a mix of hard work, mystery, and a little mischief. Classic leprechaun vibes. Interesting, right? But there are also animals out there who like to grab shiny things and hide them. Raccoons, squirrels, and ravens are all animals that like to hoard shiny objects. He could have basically discovered one of those creatures' hidden stash. Personally, I think that's what happened. But what do you guys also think? This is a clip that's gone viral over the past few weeks because there's a demonic figure captured in it. The clip was originally recorded by an individual trying to sell his blinds, but as he pans his camera around, he ends up capturing a demonic figure hiding in the darkness. Many have tried to tell him to be careful and to see an exorcist. After watching the clip over and over, however, I don't think that'll be necessary. I feel like, and strong emphasis on feel, okay, yeah, I don't think that will be necessary. This looks like pareidolia at work. It's most likely the interaction between the light, darkness, and things in the room. It can make you feel like there is a demon out there. If you've woken up in the dark room, you know what I mean. But what do you think? Is there a demon there or not?
La luz. Cierro la cortina y es como si fuera totalmente de noche. Totalmente oscuras.
Next, we got another photo shoot session that appears to have captured an uninvited guest. In the image, we see a family taking pictures with an unusual distance between them. If you were born before 2019, you'll know that they're observing the social distancing protocol. Anyway, I digress. They took a couple of pictures, and while selecting their favorites, they came across this strange figure in most of their pictures. If it wasn't already obvious, I'm referring to the bride in the middle. Yeah, there was no bride present at their photo shoot session. This person or being or ghost just showed up in their pictures and decided to make himself or herself at home. The family was spooked and uploaded the image online, soliciting opinions and views. Everyone had one thing to tell them, and it was that they'd encountered a ghost during their session. Another pointed out that this was a classic case of alternate universes colliding. According to that individual, there was a different plane of existence where someone was actually getting married, and that ended up getting mixed up with ours. In other words, the person at the wedding is also wondering why there is a strange family in the photograph. While that sounds interesting, there's no real way of proving it. Anyway, that's enough commentary from me. What do you guys also think? Next, we got this image that's got everyone talking. It shows what looks like a massive, human-like handprint pressed into the rock face of White Mountain in Wyoming. And when we say massive, we mean seriously big, about 18 inches long. It honestly looks like someone or something with a giant hand just slammed into the stone and left their mark. People have been going back and forth about it for years. Some say it's just one of those weird natural things like when clouds look like animals. Pareidolia, they call it. But others aren't so sure. There are folks who think it might be linked to ancient civilizations or old Native American legends about giants that once walked on the land. And then there are the ones who go even deeper, wondering if it's something not meant to be explained at all. Nobody really knows how it got there, but one thing is clear. This isn't just a regular rock formation. It feels like a clue, a message, maybe even a warning. And it's got a whole lot of people asking what else might be out there hidden within plain sight. Speaking of hiding in plain sight, what do you think this is? Not sure what prompted the individual recording to be doing so, but from the little we see of the footage, we see what appears to be a box hidden in an area where you wouldn't expect to see one. Someone in my team, however, pointed out that it looks more like a casket than it does a box. That might be true because when you zoom in a little, you notice that there's definitely something moving in it. We're unable to make out what it is, but from the little we can see, it's definitely not the kind of creature you would want in your home or dreams, for that matter. So, someone in the community tagged us in this post made by a lady known as Spiritual Ghost Hunter Angie. In the video, she was advertising some clothes she was selling and letting everyone know they were vintage and they could come around to have a look. I watched the clip till the end, but a later post from her states that there was actually a ghost in the video. She then slows down that part of the video and we see a blur go across the screen. According to her, this is the ghost moving at super speed. I love paranormal stuff, but somehow I doubt that. I feel like it might have just been her hand moving across the camera, but hey, maybe you guys see better than I do. Care to share your opinion?
Hey guys, this is Spiritual Ghost Hunter Aggie. I'm in this amazing warehouse, and
someone sent me this clip asking if black people are keeping slaves now. Personally, I wanted to dodge this topic, but it's a story, and what we do here, we cover stories, so let's go. The woman on your screen was being arrested for bringing a lady to the UK to work as a slave for her. I know this sounds crazy, but it's modern-day slavery. There were no chains or shackles or plantations or anything of that sort. Yeah, I say a lot of ors, and it's intentional. It's just for emphasis. But now where was I? Modern-day slaves. She allegedly worked in Lydia's home in the UK without pay after being tricked to come with Lydia. She did all the household chores as she was expected of slaves until the issue got out. When it went out, Lydia Mugambi, which is her full name, was arrested. When the case went to court, she allegedly tried to intimidate the lady into dropping it, but it didn't work out, and she'll be in court again in May to know her final sentence. Funny, right? But before we go on, indigenous black people have always had slaves that attended to them. This isn't new, it's something the rich and powerful do. For a bit of context, Lydia Mugambi is a High Court judge from Uganda who was in the UK to get her PhD from the University of Oxford. So while we may be in a different time, if the facts of the story are indeed true, then it's just the rich ruling over the poor once again.
I came here as a student. I don't need her to work for me. I didn't come with her. She asked me because she has worked at my home before. She asked me.
Imagine walking into your kitchen and seeing your cutlery have a field day. The woman who recorded this clip is Japanese, and she couldn't believe her eyes when she walked into her kitchen and saw her crockery just doing what they liked. She got her husband or brother to come out to help, but there was nothing he could do. As he stood there, helplessly watching, the woman looked to her right and saw a figure that was not supposed to be there. She lets out a chilling scream and the footage ends. When the clip made its way online, many were quick to point out the fact that it's almost likely a ghost. I mean, there's no other logical explanation, right? Other than the clip being staged. So the big question here is this truly legit? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments section. Speaking of ghosts, this clip was uploaded by a lady who was home one evening getting ready for bed when she heard something rather unusual. It sounded like it was coming from a distance, but it still did sound like a galloping horse, which was strange, especially because, well, they had no horses around. She peers out of the window to take a look, and surely enough, the sound was there. The mystery, however, was there were no horses. She decided to wait because perhaps the horses were a distance away, but the sound drew closer till it was virtually at where she was, then passed her by. This was strange as her street was the only main street there that had enough space for horses to pass by. As she sat there, confused, a thought hit her that made her blood run cold. You just encountered your first paranormal experience. It was a ghost horse. That scared her. She quickly closed her windows and uploaded it online seeking answers. Personally, I feel she's already got all her answers and she just wants confirmation, but can any of you help her? While the world mourned the passing of Queen Elizabeth, there were some who noticed a few things that many of us missed. Take, for instance, this clip.
The death is irreversible, and the fact that she's...
As you can see...
The uploader had the news recording while things occurred live. During the service, she heard something that shook her. There was actually a voice other than that of the one reporting, and it said something along the lines of, "Death is irreversible, and the fact that she is trapped." It's at this moment that the presenter cuts in and the voice goes silent. Many who saw the upload stated that there was a voice similar to that of Princess Diana. This led to many theories. I have mine because, well, it's not every day you experience something like this, right? Anyway, what do you guys think is going on?
The death is irreversible, and the fact that she's...
As you can see...
If you love to play pool but are oftentimes alone, then this clip is for you. In it, we see a man playing pool when all of a sudden things start to move. Naturally, the man panics, but it does little to deal with the situation. Lucky for him, the cameras were rolling when all of this happened. I don't see anyone believing him without it. Once this clip hit the internet, some were glad he made it out safe, whereas others were amused. Some even joked that if they could have been playing pool with a ghost. It sounds funny, but just think about it. Next, we visit an abandoned and haunted church. Here, the one filming encounters humanoid creatures seemingly clothed in white and in prayer. He initially thought he'd run into something occultic until he got closer and realized they were statues. It turns out that it's a piece of the roof that fell down and fatally wounded a family worshipping in the church. This led to the abandoning of the church. The statues were simply put there to build interest in the place for foreigners. The proceeds from their earnings are being used to furnish the place. Interesting, right? Two men were out by the seaside in Zacumulco, Mexico, just enjoying a quiet moment with their dogs. It was late and calm until something strange started to happen. From out over the ocean came a chilling sound, a long, drawn-out wailing. And it wasn't the sound of waves or animals, it sounded like a woman crying.
Menos mal que traigo mi primera comunión.
Los lamentos pues no me han espantado tanto porque pues ya es algo, bueno, no es como, a pesar de que no son tan cotidianos, que no sean diarios.
Startled, the men began filming the water's surface, unsure of what they were hearing. And that's when something even stranger happened. A figure appeared briefly on the surface of the water, then it vanished. Moments later, not one but three shadowy figures could be seen rising and disappearing into the ocean mist. It was fleeting, but enough to send a chill down their spines. Now, in Mexican folklore, there's a well-known legend of La Llorona, the weeping woman. As the story goes, she drowned her own children in a fit of despair, and now her spirit roams bodies of water, eternally mourning and searching for them. Her cries are said to lure people toward danger, and sightings like this, especially near water, are often linked to her. What makes this encounter more intense is how the dogs reacted. They weren't calm, they were barking aggressively in the direction of the water as if they sensed something wasn't right. Animals often pick up on things humans can't, and their reaction only adds to the fear of the moment.
Menos mal que traigo mi primera comunión.
Los lamentos pues no me han espantado tanto porque pues ya es algo, bueno, no es como, a pesar de que no son tan cotidianos, que no sean diarios.
A woman stepped out on her patio one quiet afternoon when something odd caught her attention. A rocking chair, the one that usually sat completely still unless someone was using it, was gently moving back and forth. At first, she thought maybe it was the wind, but then she realized that there was no wind at all. The air was completely still. That's when the chill set in. She pulled out her phone and began recording, but the moment she started filming, the chair stopped moving completely, almost like whatever had been rocking it knew it was being watched. But then, as she stood there a few seconds longer, it began to rock again. Slowly at first, then a bit more noticeably, and just as the movement picked up, her dog jumped up and began barking furiously at the chair. It was like the dog could see something she couldn't. Animals have a reputation for sensing things beyond human perception, and this moment definitely seems to prove it. So was it a spirit just passing through, or maybe something attached to that old chair?
Get it on camera. There's like no wind. That's I know, Blue, someone's there, huh? I know, I don't know why it does that.
Someone caught this bizarre spectacle on camera and posted it to Reddit, and it's one of the strangest things you'll see all week. It shows a glowing blue flame traveling along the electric wires outside their house. You can hear this low, intense buzzing sound as the flame zips by like it's alive. The glow is eerie, almost otherworldly, like something from a sci-fi movie. What's even stranger is that there's no sign of a regular fire anywhere. No smoke, no burning poles, and nothing that suggests a typical electrical issue. This was just a surreal blue flame snaking its way along the wires and lighting up the night sky. Now, a few folks online think this could be a phenomenon called an electrical arc. It's basically when electricity jumps through the air between wires or equipment, and under certain conditions, it can produce these weird blue flames. It's rare but not impossible. But not everyone's buying the science. Some people are convinced it's something else, like an energy moving through the grid unnaturally, or even some kind of paranormal force. After all, the way the flame moved, it didn't flicker like fire normally would. It glided, fast and smooth, almost like it had a mind of its own. So was it just a freak electrical event or something far stranger? Churches are sacred places. They're mostly quiet, spiritual, and often filled with a deep sense of peace. But that same spiritual energy is exactly why many believe they attract more than just the living. A man was walking past a church late at night when he noticed something strange. The lights inside were still on, even though the place was closed. The front door was glass, giving a clear view into the building, but it was also guarded by a locked metal gate, so no one could easily get in, and yet something was inside. Out of nowhere, loud banging sounds start coming from the glass door, like someone or something was slamming against it from the inside. You could hear it echo in the quiet street. The man was not alone either. There were other people nearby who also stopped to look, clearly disturbed by what they were witnessing. Everyone could see that no one was at the door, and yet the banging continued. And if that wasn't creepy enough, at one point a low growling sound could be heard. It was faint but unmistakable. It was not the sound of a person, but it wasn't an animal either. Some believe this could be a demonic manifestation of a spirit repelled by the sanctity of the church, but still trying to make its presence known. Others say it might be the lingering energy of someone or something that never left the place. Whatever it was, it didn't look or sound human, and the fact that it happened inside a church is what's got everyone talking.
Porta aqui, não tem nada ali dentro.
For the longest time, we've all heard the same warning. Don't touch a jellyfish. They're known for their painful zaps that can leave you sore for hours, sometimes even worse. But then, there's this video. A man is seen scooping a jellyfish straight out of the water with his bare hands, but nothing happens. No flinching, no pain, no sting. So what the hell is going on here? Is this some kind of trick? Turns out it's no trick at all. What he's holding is actually a very special kind of jellyfish. It's almost completely transparent like glass, and is called the moon jellyfish, or Aurelia aurita. Moon jellyfish are fascinating because, unlike many of their cousins, their sting is so mild it's almost undetectable to humans. In fact, their tentacles aren't strong enough to penetrate human skin, which is why this guy could hold one without any discomfort at all. They're beautiful, floating like soft orbs just below the surface of the water. But don't get it twisted. Not all jellyfish are this harmless. Some, like the infamous box jellyfish, can deliver extremely painful and even deadly stings. So while this encounter was harmless, it's still best not to go around picking up jellyfish unless you really know what you're dealing with.
Don't touch the jellyfish.
Have you ever tried pulling out a nail that's been hammered into a wall? It's tough, right? Takes strength, some leverage, and maybe a few grunts and a bent tool or two. Well, prepare to be humbled. Take a look at this macho little bee. In a viral clip that's been making the rounds online, this bee is seen gripping a nail and gradually pulling it out of a wall. Yeah, a bee. Not a bird, not a bat, a bee. You can almost see the determination in its little wings. It's kind of hilarious and weirdly impressive. Now, scientists are chiming in, saying the nail was probably already loose or barely wedged in to begin with, which might explain how the bee managed to pull it out. Still, loose or not, it's a bee. This isn't what we expect from pollinators. What was it even doing? Renovating? Helping with repairs? Who knows? Maybe next time you're struggling to yank out a stubborn nail, just know a bee might have done it faster.
Good lad.
This video was shared by a man who was out with his kids. They lived close to the woods, and while the family was spending time outside, they noticed something unusual among the trees. That's when the man suddenly told his family to get inside immediately as he stepped out to get a closer look. But what he saw was honestly chilling. There, between the trees, was a humanoid figure, clearly on two legs, bent slightly with its back facing the camera. It was dark in color, and from a distance, it didn't seem to notice the man watching it. The body proportions, the build, the way it moved, it all looked way too large and strange for a regular human. But we all know what this could be. Bigfoot. What made it even more unsettling was the sound it let out, a strange, deep howl, almost like a huff. It wasn't panicked or aggressive, it was just doing its thing. But the encounter left the family shaken. That wasn't a bear, it wasn't someone in a costume, and if this were Bigfoot, it just might be one of the clearest moments caught on camera in recent years. What do you think? We all know our drain pipes are connected to sewers that eventually lead to a central place, carrying everything from dirty water to chemical waste and more. But what happens when something unusual flows through? A passerby captured this unsettling footage while walking by a large gutter where the sewer system was discharging its liquids. As they watched, something shocking happened. A red liquid began pouring out into the gutter. The sight of this red liquid flowing freely raises a chilling questions. Could that be blood? It's hard to say for sure, but the mere thought of it is enough to send shivers down your spine. What could have caused this, and where did it come from? Is it some kind of industrial waste, or is there a more sinister explanation? A man was exploring an abandoned building when he stumbled upon something truly bizarre. As he cautiously made his way through the decaying halls, he noticed movement in the shadows ahead. He quickly pulled out his camera and started recording, only to capture something that has since sparked heated debates online. There, in the dim light, was a short creature, its small hunched figure climbing in an open structure that seemed to lead downward. The creature moved with an unsettling agility, disappearing into the darkness below before the man could get a closer look. The footage quickly went viral, with many viewers insisting that what the man captured was no ordinary animal. Some claimed it looked like a goblin, a mythical creature known in folklore for its mischievous and often sinister behavior. The creature's small stature, long limbs, and eerie movements certainly gave it an otherworldly appearance. However, not everyone was convinced. Skeptics were quick to point out that the footage could have easily been edited, arguing that the creature's movements appeared unnatural, almost as if it were a CGI creation. What do you think? Distinguishing between what's real and what's not has become increasingly challenging. I recently came across this fascinating footage that has got members of the paranormal community excited yet scared. In the clip, there is a massive pillar with huge tentacles wrapped around it. It's a sight to behold. However, before we start imagining the existence of colossal octopus monsters, it's worth considering the potential for digital manipulation. Thanks to the advancement in technology, it's gotten relatively easier to create realistic-looking creatures for your videos. This makes some members of our team think this might be nothing more than CGI. While there's a strong assertion, we can't really prove it, but you've seen it. What do you think? Is this merely a result of CGI, or is there something more at play? Please share your thoughts in the comments section.
Sue. Нет. Бургер. Хорошо, стоп. Мясо.
Take a look at this man who appears to be over-friendly with a bear. He leans against the giant fur of the animal, and something is unsettling about the way he interacts with the bear. But that's not even the most concerning part. Watch as the man offers a burger to the bear, but the bear refuses to eat it. The man takes out the ingredients one by one, trying to entice the animal to eat. He shows the bear the patty, then the cheese, then the lettuce and tomato, but the bear still refused to eat. The man continues to pester the bear, urging it to eat. He tries to hand-feed the animal, but it still won't eat. Finally, after much pestering, the bear gets up and walks away from the man. As you watch this scene, you can't help but wonder why the bear refused to eat. Could it be that the bear smelled something unhealthy and inedible from the food? It's concerning to think about what we're putting into our stomachs when we eat these things. Either that or the bear might be vegan and the burger just wasn't meeting the mark.
Том, неправильно. Давай. Том.
Не хочет.
Не хочет. Нет.
Have you ever heard of petrification? All around the world, there are giant stone-like structures that eerily resemble snakes, dinosaurs, and other creatures. When you look closely at the texture of these rocks, they bear a striking resemblance to the actual creature they mimic, almost as if they've been turned to stone. Could this be evidence that these animals really existed and were petrified over time? Some people believe these formations might be the remnants of ancient creatures, somehow fossilized in such a way that their true forms were perfectly preserved in stone. The theory is intriguing. Imagine if these giant stone snakes or dinosaur-shaped rocks were once living, breathing beings caught in some catastrophic event that turned them to stone. Of course, more scientists explain these formations as naturally occurring rock formations that, through erosion and weathering, just happen to resemble familiar shapes. But for those who enjoy the mysteries of the world, the idea of petrified creatures hidden in plain sight is hard to resist. What do you think? Could these stone structures be remnants of ancient creatures, or are they just the tricks of nature? One thing birds, especially pigeons, are known for is going while in flight. Nobody wants to be at the end of that, and believe me when I tell you, it's not a pleasant experience. Anyway, moving on. This man had the unfortunate incident happening to him, but fortunately for him, it was on his car. He got close to it, and he realized something. There was something in the bird poo, and it was actually moving. Talk about a disturbing scene. I wanted to do the research and tell you guys what that could be, but couldn't bring myself to. I believe there are some experts in our audience. Can you guys educate us, please? We'll be reading. A group of cave explorers came across this eerie scene in a cave. In the middle of the cave, there's a pile of human skeletons stacked like pillars. The old bones tell a sad story of something bad that happened long ago. But that's not all. As the explorers keep going, they find another room full of bones, skulls, leg bones, ribs, all mixed together like a scary puzzle of death. What happened in this lonely place to leave behind such a scary scene? Was it once a graveyard where people buried their loved ones? Or maybe something worse hides in the darkness, waiting for someone brave enough to find out? Next, we've got a rather unusual discovery. Take a look. Someone posted this clip on the internet showcasing a crash site that was being closely guarded by men in uniforms. A second look, and you'd realize that the object they seem to be guarding is in no way terrestrial. In other words, it doesn't look like it belongs on our planet. But how is this possible? Did the government run into a UFO and decide to transport it? Then again, if it's the government, it would be done in secrecy, so no one sees it. Unless, of course, they want us to know there are aliens and they've got things belonging to these aliens. Personally, I don't think that's the case. If it was, it would be on every major news outlet. It was at this point in my confusion that a team member mentioned the possibility of it being a movie set. Why didn't I think of that? After all, Hollywood is known for creating elaborate sets and props that simulate otherworldly scenarios, and it's not unusual for such productions to have security personnel controlling access to these sets. The presence of uniformed guards could imply that it's a high-budget production that requires extra security measures. That's what we're thinking, but let us know what your thoughts are. Next, we've got a clip that the uploader insists is a glitch in the Matrix. Take a look. According to him, he was going about his day when he noticed this strange bird-like creature suddenly start to drop from the sky. He was already filming at this point and managed to capture just the moment the bird-like creature all of a sudden started to fall. He insists it's not natural, and when you look at the clip, there's something off about it. I did some digging around, starting from the original post, and almost everyone who saw it was convinced it was a weather balloon. You see it too. What do you think? This footage has got to be one of the most convincing pieces of glitch in the Matrix evidence circulating on the internet. It was captured by a man who was sitting in his parked car in a parking lot when he noticed something incredibly odd happening just a few cars away. Take a look. A woman seated in the front passenger seat of a car gets out, walks around to the driver's side, sits down, and then almost like she's following a script, she gets out again, walks around the back of the car, and re-enters the passenger seat. Now here's where things get really strange. According to the man who took the footage, he'd already watched her repeat this bizarre sequence 3 times before he started filming. It's as if she's caught in some sort of a loop, endlessly repeating the same actions without any apparent reason. This isn't just a simple case of someone forgetting something and retracing their steps. She's literally moving in a perfect circle over and over again, as if she's stuck in a loop. It's almost like watching a character in a video game that's being glitched, endlessly following the same path and no way out. What could possibly explain this? Was she in some kind of trance, completely unaware of what she was doing, or could this be a genuine glitch in the fabric of reality? Cloning has always been a fascinating yet controversial topic. It's a subject many avoid for obvious reasons. This next clip might change their opinion, though. You see it too, right? A factory producing silicon human heads, torsos, limbs, and other body parts. Isn't it amazing how detailed and realistic they look? The movement of the robotic up torso gives me the heebie-jeebies with its lifelike movements and gestures. While I see what these could be used for, I can't help but wonder if it's safe to even have them. I mean, anyone could be impersonated using these cloned body parts. One second thought, how do we know that's not already happening? After all, we've got some world leaders acting weird and not like themselves every now and then. If these things are truly being used to impersonate others, then perhaps we need to be extra careful. What do you think, though? Do you think that that's a possibility, or am I just being a conspiracy theorist? Please share your thoughts. Someone shared this footage. It was a video of a disc-like craft being chased by a jet. Unfortunately, the exact location where the incident was captured remains unknown. The jet seems to be in hot pursuit of the UFO, which has led some commenters to speculate that the UFO is a government-made and that the jet is accompanying the craft. This would explain why the jet is so close to the UFO. However, others believe that the footage is entirely fake and that it's been doctored to make it appear as if the UFO is being chased by a jet. It's worth noting that there have been numerous instances in the past where people have claimed to have captured footage of UFOs, but these have later been debunked as hoaxes or natural phenomenon. Members of my team think that might be the case here, but then again, nothing's false until it can be proven so, right? Anyway, what are your thoughts? In an almost similar incident, a man was walking through the woods when he stumbled upon an old, abandoned well. Naturally curious, he decided to peer inside, perhaps expecting nothing more than darkness or maybe some forgotten debris. But what he found was far more unsettling. As he leaned over to look inside, his camera captured something chilling, a pair of glowing eyes staring back at him from the depths of the well. These eyes, almost unnaturally bright, seemed to follow his every movement, as if the creature they belonged to was just as curious about him as he was about it. Startled, the man quickly retreated and ran back from the scene. Now, unlike other encounters where Bigfoot might be the suspect, this creature didn't seem to fit that description. Julius speculates that it could be an animal trapped down there, its eyes reflecting the daylight, but the man who witnessed it isn't so sure. The eyes seemed too large, too eerie for an ordinary animal. Could it be an animal or something far more enigmatic? The idea that we're living in a matrix isn't new, but it's certainly a theory that sparks debate. Not everyone is convinced, but every now and then we come across something that makes us question reality. Aaron, a firm believer in the Matrix theory, shared a video that he thinks is a perfect example of a glitch in the Matrix. In this footage, you see a hand tapping on a mirror hanging on the wall, but here's where things get strange. In the reflection, there's a butterfly calmly resting in front of the mirror. The odd part? In real life, there's no butterfly to be seen, only its reflection exists. This eerie phenomenon leaves us wondering, how can something appear in a reflection without being present in reality? For those who believe in the Matrix theory, this video is compelling evidence that we might be living in a simulated reality where not everything behaves as it should. But what do you think? Is this just a visual anomaly, or could there be something more to it? Have you watched the movie Life? If so, you might recall the scene where they captured a gooey creature in space that later turned into a human-eating monster. Recently, footage has been circulating that is eerily similar. In the video, there's a plate on a table with a strange, thick, black, gooey substance. A hand holds a metal ring, and the liquid follows wherever the ring goes. It's unclear where this footage was taken or who recorded it, but this is something worth investigating. But wait, it gets even more intriguing. The hand tries to separate the goo with a credit card, but it effortlessly merges back together as if it has a mind of its own. Now, some people have drawn comparisons to the infamous symbiotic alien known as Venom, and you can see why. The resemblance is uncanny. Others speculate that it could be graphene, a material known for its unique properties. One intriguing suggestion comes from a commenter who proposed that it might be a ferromagnetic fluid reacting to a magnet hidden beneath the table. This theory holds water, as ferromagnetic fluids are indeed capable of exhibiting fascinating behaviors when exposed to magnetic fields, such as following the movement of a magnet or rejoining when separated. As for us, we're no experts and can only speculate based on available evidence. Nonetheless, we'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think's going on here? A woman came across this dead creature in a jar covered in a slimy substance. It appears to be an alien-like miniature being in a fetal position. The creature was so tiny and fit in the palm of the woman who found it. The creature was gray with huge eyes and an oddly shaped head, features that have long been associated with extraterrestrial beings. Why would someone go through the trouble of capturing such a creature and preserving it in a jar? Is it a genuine extraterrestrial being, or perhaps a cleverly crafted hoax designed to stir up intrigue? Many in the paranormal community believe it's a fake, but what say you? What you are looking at is said to be the power source of UFOs, a nuclear battery known as the Paul Bronze radioactive battery. This mysterious device has sparked numerous theories, with some claiming it's the key to understanding how extraterrestrial crafts operate. The battery is believed to harness a form of radioactive energy far more advanced than anything currently known to humanity. It's said to have the ability to generate immense power, possibly enough to fuel the complex and otherworldly technologies attributed to UFOs. The Paul Bronze radioactive battery has become a focal point in discussions about extraterrestrial technology and the potential for human discovery. Could this be a glimpse into the advanced energy systems of alien civilizations, or is it simply a misunderstood piece of technology from our world, shrouded in secrecy and speculation? This footage is absolutely mind-boggling. Captured by a security camera outside a station in India, it shows something you'd only expect to see in a movie. At first glance, everything seems normal. People minding their own business, motorcyclists parked, and the usual hustle and bustle of a busy junction. But then out of nowhere, a motorcycle glides into view. What makes this so bizarre is that there's no rider on the bike. It just rolls on its own, navigating as if it had a mind of its own. The way it maneuvers, taking a smooth, calculated curve into the station without bumping into anything, is beyond eerie. The witnesses who saw it were understandably shocked. This isn't something you see every day, if ever. It's almost like the motorcycle was being controlled by some invisible force. But what could it be? With the advancement of technology, body modification techniques are also becoming more sophisticated. For those who have ever considered changing their eye color, it's now possible thanks to FLAC Pro technique. Beatriz from Brazil underwent this procedure to change her eye color from a darker shade to a water green, and her results were remarkable. The FLAC Pro procedure involves pigmentation of the cornea, which is a clear front surface of the eye. Skilled ophthalmologists perform the procedure by injecting a specialized pigment into the cornea stroma, the middle layer of the cornea. This pigment interacts with the existing iris color, resulting in a new hue. The procedure is performed with great care and precision, ensuring that the patient's eye health is not compromised. Beatrice underwent the procedure in Rome, Italy, where it was successfully performed. The change in eye color has been a popular trend in recent years, and as technology continues to advance, this trend is likely to continue. Would you try this? Over the years, there have been numerous reports of unidentified flying objects and sightings of extraterrestrial life, which have warranted intense scrutiny. However, this alleged UFO sighting shared online by renowned Mexican journalist and ufologist Jaime Maussan has captured people's attention worldwide. The clip shows a bright light ascending into the night sky and then disappearing into the clouds. However, even after it disappears into the clouds, you can still see lights shining above them, which has left many people wondering what it could be. Jaime Maussan is well known for his work in the field of ufology, having investigated and reported on several UFO sightings and alien encounters. This sighting has only added to the intrigue and mystery surrounding the topic. While some folks hang on to Maussan's every word, others are quick to dismiss him as a fake, questioning the authenticity of his content. Well, as with many things in the realm of UFOs and aliens, it's a mixed bag of belief and skepticism. Without more concrete evidence, it's tough to say for sure what's really going on up there in the skies. What do you make of this, real or fake? I know it's been a couple of days, but here's a bonus footage for you. For those new to our channel, it's a chance to show us how sharp you are. What do you think you're looking at? Instead of hearing it from me, I want to hear your thoughts on this. Both conspiracies and scientific theories are allowed. Let's make this fun. This video was captured on a trail camera set up by a hunter who was hoping to record the local wildlife in the area. But what he ended up capturing left him utterly shocked. Take a look. In the footage, you can see a massive, dark figure standing about 7 feet tall in the middle of the woods. This creature isn't just passing by, it's clearly agitated. It begins throwing logs and pushing branches around with force as if it's angry or upset about something. The creature continues its tantrum for a while before finally retreating back into the depths of the forest. Now, we all know this isn't a bear or an ape. The size, the behavior, it all points to one being, the legendary Bigfoot. But what could have made it so angry? What could have triggered this outburst? It's rare to catch a glimpse of Bigfoot, let alone see it in such a state. This footage raises more questions than answers. Could something have disturbed its territory, or was it reacting to the presence of the trail camera itself? No, this is no alien. This is actually a species of bird on our planet. If you're expecting me to tell you which, I won't be doing that because it's our bonus clip of the day. This is your opportunity to show us how much you know about the Earth as we search for signs of life out there. Tell us what bird this is and give us one fact about it. The best answer gets a feature and shout out in our next episode. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Start your answer with the word bonus so we can easily identify it. All the best. This next one was sent in by a subscriber of this channel. Just a quick reminder that you too can send in your clip. According to him, he captured it on a trail cam he'd set in the woods near his house. It was meant to capture wildlife, but instead it captured a life that, although wild, didn't fit your typical description of wildlife. There on the screen is a girl moving across the forest floor with the fluidity and grace that's almost otherworldly. But here's the thing, she's not just strolling along like your average hiker. No. She's running on all fours. Her movements so animalistic that at first glance you might mistake it for just another woodland creature. But hold on, it gets even stranger. The girl, dressed in human clothes but sporting an animal mask and a tail, effortlessly leaps into the air as if defying gravity itself. It's a scene that's as mesmerizing as it is baffling. Could it be a person with inhuman abilities, or is this some type of prank stunt being pulled on the Trailcam owner? Dares can be thrilling and fun, but they can also come with unexpected risks. Have you ever heard the story of Sam Ballard? Sam was a young, adventurous boy who was dared by his friends to swallow a slug. It seemed like a harmless prank at the time, and Sam, being a good sport, went along with it. But what happened next was far from a joke. The slug he swallowed was carrying a parasitic worm called Angiostrangulus cantonensis, which can cause a rare but serious infection known as rat lungworm disease. Unfortunately, Sam contracted this infection, which led to severe complications. He fell into a coma, and when he eventually woke up, he was left paralyzed and in need of constant care. So the next time you dare to do something, remember Sam Ballard's story and consider whether it's really worth the risk. This next footage is hands down one of the strangest orb sightings I've come across, if it is indeed real. In the video, you can see a chopper flying steadily in the sky, seemingly on a routine flight. Then out of nowhere, an orb appears, gliding smoothly from the right side of the frame. What happens next is unbelievable. The orb moves closer to the helicopter, and in a matter of seconds, it engulfs the entire craft. The helicopter vanishes without a trace, as if it was swallowed whole by this mysterious orb. And just like that, the orb continues to float away, carrying the helicopter within it, as though nothing has happened. This footage leaves you questioning what exactly we're dealing with here. Could this be some advanced technology, extraterrestrial in origin, or perhaps a sophisticated illusion? Or is there another explanation entirely? A peculiar craft was recently spotted in the sky, hovering among the clouds. The object is disc-shaped and has several rotating circles around its perimeter. As it moves across the sky, the circles keep rotating at a steady pace, giving the impression of a machine in motion. Witnesses describe the object as completely silent and moving with great agility, unlike any aircraft they've ever seen. Some have speculated that it might be a new kind of unidentified flying object, while others believe it could be a secretive military aircraft. The take of my team is that this has to be a hoax. I don't agree with them, though. Until we can prove beyond reasonable doubt that it's false, I don't think we should call it that. What do you think? As we all know, gravity is one of the fundamental forces of nature that plays a crucial role in our daily lives on Earth. It's the force that holds everything together and keeps us grounded. However, I recently stumbled upon some intriguing footage that has left me feeling confused. In the clip, a hand is seen grabbing a strange piece of stick that's shaped like a spiral. The stick is then placed under running water, and to everyone's surprise, it begins to spin as it moved upward while still under the running water. While I'm no science whiz, I doubt this follows the law of physics. Unfortunately, our resident scientist is out of the studio investigating a phenomena we intended to show in our next clip, so he can't be of help. Can any of you help? Is this some kind of optical illusion or trick of the camera? Or is there really a scientific explanation for the phenomenon? Please share your thoughts.
definitely looks blue.
It's because of
What in the world, though? Like, that's like vibrant blue. I'm tripping.
When we think of shadows, we usually imagine them as dark, almost black reflections of objects blocking the light. So imagine the confusion and surprise when a woman stumbled upon something completely out of the ordinary. Blue shadows. Yeah, blue shadows. It all happened while she was in the woods. Perhaps she was out for a walk, enjoying the tranquility of nature, when she came across a cluster of twigs lying on the ground. At first glance, nothing seemed unusual about them. The twigs were just that, ordinary, brown, and brittle, scattered across the ground. But then something caught her eye that made her do a double take. The shadows cast by these twigs weren't the typical dark hues we're accustomed to. Instead, they were a vibrant, unmistakable blue. Now, it's not that twigs themselves were blue. No, they were the usual color. There was nothing around that could explain this bizarre phenomenon. No blue light source, no reflective surface, nothing. Just these twigs and their strikingly blue shadow stood out against the ground. How could this be possible? What could cause a shadow to take on such an unexpected hue? I was getting ready to share this paranormal theory when Julia stepped in. It turned out this was taken during Blue Hour. For those unfamiliar with it, like I was, it refers to a period of twilight in the morning or evening when the sun is just below the horizon, creating a soft, diffuse light that gives everything a bluish tint. During this time, the sky takes on a deep blue hue, and because the sun isn't directly visible, the light is scattered more in the atmosphere, emphasizing shorter wavelengths like blue. Shadows during the blue hour appear blue because they're primarily lit by the ambient sky rather than direct sunlight. So yeah, nothing paranormal here, just a natural phenomenon.
Definitely looks blue.
What in the world, though? Like, that's like vibrant blue. I'm tripping.
Believe me when I say there are a lot of strange things out there that we don't fully understand, and some inventions can be downright disturbing. Recently, my team and I came across something that fits that description perfectly: the EATR robot. EATR, which stands for Energetically Autonomous Tactical Robot, is designed with a unique and unsettling ability. It can refuel itself using biological waste. This means that, in theory, the robot could use anything organic for fuel, including human corpses. The idea behind EATR was to create a machine that could operate independently in hostile environments without needing a constant supply of traditional fuel. But the implications of a robot that can consume organic material for energy? While the creators have assured the public that the robot is designed to focus on plant-based material, the very concept of a machine that could theoretically consume any biological matter, including humans, is enough to send shivers down anyone's spine. What do you think about this invention? Does it seem like a groundbreaking step in technology, or does it cross a line that should not be crossed? This heartwarming incident captured on camera shows that animals can display compassion towards each other. It's all started when a poor cat fell into a body of water and was struggling to keep its head above. Fortunately, a dog noticed the cat's plight and quickly jumped into the water without any hesitation. The dog then swam toward the cat and allowed it to clamber onto its back. The cat, now standing on the dog's back, was able to climb out of the water safely. The dog's selfless act of kindness towards the helpless cat shows that animals can be incredibly compassionate towards each other. While many found this heartwarming, a number of them were upset and wondered why the person filming did nothing. I can't fault them for thinking so, but it doesn't take away the fact that this was rather heartwarming anyway. In recent times, there have been numerous reports of creatures that have been found and suspected of being alien or extraterrestrial origin. While some humans dream of meeting aliens, one guy's out there actually transforming himself to look like aliens, and one such individual is currently undergoing a project to transform himself into an alien. He's aptly named his endeavor the Black Alien Project, and has undergone multiple surgeries to modify his body to resemble that of an extraterrestrial being. As part of his transformation, the man has tattooed nearly 90% of his body with black ink and has also altered his lips to give them an inhuman appearance. His upper lip, in particular, bears a striking resemblance to that of an alien. Looking at the progress he's made so far, it can be said that his project is looking quite promising. So while he may not hail from the stars above, he's certainly making waves down here on Earth with his unique project. What are your thoughts on his transformation? Clip taken back in 2006, which has left many unsettled and questioning what they just witnessed. A man braving the woods at night found himself in an encounter that would be etched into his memory, and now into the internet's collective consciousness. While walking through the dense, shadowy forest, he noticed something unusual, a pale figure crouched by some bushes nearby. Its ghostly appearance stood out against the dark surroundings, drawing the man's attention. Driven by a mix of curiosity and concern, he decided to investigate, pulling out his camera to capture what he assumed might be a stray animal or perhaps someone in need of help. But as he approached, things took a terrifying turn. The figure suddenly turned towards him, revealing its hollow, glowing eyes. It was bald and gaunt, with skin stretched tightly over its skeletal frame, so thin that the shoulder blades and ribs were clearly visible. Despite its almost human form, there was something deeply unsettling and inhuman about it, a wrongness that sent a chill down the man's spine. Before he could react, the creature lunged at him with alarming speed. The man stumbled back and in a panic dropped his camera, which captured only the briefest glimpse of the creature before the footage went dark. The encounter ended as quickly as it began, with the man fleeing. When the video was later recovered and shared, it sparked widespread debate and fear. Some viewers believed the man had encountered a supernatural being, possibly a skinwalker or wendigo. Others speculated it might have been a feral human, someone who'd lost their mind and humanity after years of isolation in the wild. Skeptics, of course, questioned the authenticity of the footage, suggesting it could have been an elaborate prank. But what do you think? We all know that gravity keeps us grounded on Earth, which is why if you ever saw a flying person, you'd be left with more questions than answers. But what in the world is this?
Мы, значит, такие гуляем, а тут, ебать, на проводе стул висит, блядь.
In this bizarre footage, we see something even stranger, a wooden chair floating in the sky. Yeah, you heard that right. This chair is not just floating, it's also rotating slowly beside an electric line. Now those power lines are pretty high up, so how on earth did the chair get up there? What makes this even more puzzling is that there are no visible ropes or wires holding it up. The person who captured this footage filmed it from the ground, pointing the camera upwards so it's clear that the chair is genuinely suspended in midair. And it's not part of some elaborate show or stunt. There's no one around, no crowd, nothing to suggest this is staged. It seems like the person filming was the only one who noticed this strange phenomenon. So what's really going on here? Could this be some sort of glitch in the Matrix? We'd love to hear your theories. Share your thoughts in the comments. Alright, let's dial down the drama a notch. Imagine you're scrolling through some footage and stumble upon a group of people in uniforms gathered around this large metallic sphere that's appeared out of nowhere on the beach. It's definitely an unusual sight, no denying that. The sphere itself is pretty straightforward. It's big, metallic, and has an almost otherworldly sheen to it. But beyond its appearance, there's not much else to go on. No clear explanation of how it got there or what it's doing on the beach. Now, some folks are tossing around the idea that it could be of alien origin, but let's not jump to conclusions just yet. It's just as likely that it's some kind of man-made structure or even a piece of equipment that's been washed ashore. But hey, who knows? Maybe there's more. What would you do if you were out exploring the woods and came across a creature such as this? Yes, I did say creature, and anyone who has watched Lord of the Rings would understand the reference. This creature was reportedly captured roaming a Chinese valley. The creature was found crouched, but only for a short while, as it did its best to get away from those filming it. We're not exactly sure if it knew it was being filmed. One thing that we however know for sure is that it didn't like it one bit. So what is it? Well, no one is really sure. The Chinese thought it was a Jiangxi when they saw it, but the appearance and movement didn't match what they knew about the Jiangxi. For those unfamiliar with the term, also known as the hopping vampire or hopping zombie, is a reanimated corpse from Chinese folklore known for its stiff, hopping movements and its thirst for the life force of the living. This didn't look stiff, and it was too shy to be one. One creature, however, fits this description: Gollum. Anyone who has watched The Lord of the Rings or read the books is familiar with the character that was cursed into its grotesque appearance with its emaciated form, pale skin, luminous eyes, and jagged teeth. Up until this time, we've always thought it to be fictional, so what could be going on here?
Got this,
What do you think this is? A strange mass of weird-looking things on a couch with insects buzzing all around it. Well, if you guessed something unusual, you're right. What you're looking at is actually a yellow jacket nest. The mass on the couch is their home, and those insects flying about are the yellow jackets themselves. This spectacle was discovered in an abandoned shack deep in the woods. It's not every day you come across something like this, a nest taking over a piece of furniture, turning a simple couch into a hive of activity. Yellow jackets are known for their aggressive behavior, and finding their nest in such an unexpected place is both fascinating and terrifying. How did this nest end up here? What other surprises might be lurking in that old shack?
I've got this,
Zoom in on the shark in the distance.
I wonder if we could get a quick zoom on the shark.
Come in tight if you have it.
Well, I think I know who this guy is, but Bruce, since you're here.
During a deep-sea research expedition, the camera captured footage of a truly unique fish. This creature had a large, almost bulbous head, and its body moved with the fluid, undulating motion reminiscent of a catfish. But this wasn't just an ordinary fish, it was a ghost cat shark. The ghost cat shark is a rare and mysterious species, often found lurking in the dark depths of the ocean, where few other creatures venture. Its eerie appearance, with a head that seems almost too large for its body and a ghostly pale complexion, has intrigued marine biologists and ocean enthusiasts alike. What makes this creature even more fascinating is its elusive nature. Ghost cat sharks are rarely seen, and even less frequently captured on camera, making this footage a valuable glimpse into the life of one of the ocean's most enigmatic inhabitants. As it glides through the water, you can see why it earned its spectral name. Its movement is both graceful and haunting, like a shadow in the deep.
Okay, this looks like a cat shark in the genus Aprostourus. That's my take on it. Yeah, definitely with the shovel-like head and an anal fin. So I don't think there are any records of this genus Aprostourus from Lake Gatol, and we have no idea of what species this would be because there are a number of species in the genus, and none have been recorded from this area.
Now that's what I call dedication to the extraterrestrial aesthetic. This man's lying down perfectly still as a tattoo artist works their magic, creating a masterpiece right on his skin. It's not just any tattoo. Oh no, this is a full-body extravaganza featuring none other than an alien creature set against the backdrop of a vibrant, swirling galaxy. Talk about out of this world. You can't help but be struck by the sheer artistry and creativity on display, the intricate details of the alien's otherworldly features, the mesmerizing swirls of colors that make up the galaxy. It's a sight to behold, to say the least. Would any of you get this done? Look at these magnificent creatures. I know what some of you are thinking. This must be AI. Well, it's not. It turns out these birds are pretty much very, very real. They're called the Andean condor. They are a massive bird species that can have a wingspan of up to 10 feet, 3 meters or more, making them one of the largest flying birds in the world. They have black feathers that cover most of their bodies, but their wings boast white markings that make for a striking visual contrast. They have distinctive white ruffs of feathers around the necks, which are particularly noticeable when they're in flight. On their bald heads, they have colorful fleshy wattles that add to their regal appearance. Sadly, despite being awe-inspiring sights, the Andean condor is a vulnerable species that are facing numerous threats. Due to habitat loss, poaching, and poisoning, their numbers are rapidly declining. Sad, huh? This has got to be the boogiest caterpillar I've seen yet. A hairy one with a mohawk. This little guy was just casually moving along on a rock, looking like he was ready to rock out. Well, this isn't just an ordinary caterpillar. What you're looking at is the Palarisa cervina caterpillar. It might seem like it's dressed for a punk rock concert, but this is just nature's way of showing off its creativity. This caterpillar's unique appearance isn't just for show, though. The hair and mohawk-like features might help it blend in with its surroundings or even ward off predators. It's amazing how something so small can have such a big personality. Have you seen anything like this before? Let's take a look at this intriguing video captured by someone on their drive home one night in Belgium. As they were driving, they noticed something unusual in the sky, a horizontal arrangement of blue lights hovering ahead of them. At first, the lights appeared stationary as the car moved forward. My team and I initially thought it must just be a reflection on the car window, but then something strange happened. The lights began to contract, pulling together in a tight cluster, and then they suddenly expanded outward again. This was no ordinary reflection. Something was definitely going on in the sky. Many people who've seen the video believe that these lights could be a UFO, possibly hiding behind the clouds. The way the lights moved and changed shape certainly points to something out of the ordinary. Could it be that we're witnessing a sighting of an unidentified flying object, or is there another explanation we're missing? A woman had put her baby to sleep one night and set up a camera with a monitor connected to her phone to keep an eye on the crib. As they slept, something unsettling happened. A smoke-like figure appeared in the room, hovering over the baby's cot. Strangely, the baby didn't get up, and the figure just floated around for a moment before vanishing into thin air. The mother was understandably shocked when she discovered this later. While there's no clear backstory, like a deceased relative or anything, we can't say for certain what this entity could have been. A man discovered a striking insect in his garden one day. It looked like nothing he'd ever seen, and after seeing it myself, I shared the same sentiment. I was about to scream AI when one of our team members gave it a look and said, "The mantis waspfly. Cool." I looked it up, and surely enough, these things actually exist. The so-called mantis waspfly is a reference to the mantis fly, an insect with a remarkable mix of mantis, wasp, and fly characteristics. Mantis flies have forelegs similar to those of a praying mantis, which is what they use to ambush and grasp prey, and their bodies often mimic the appearance of wasps or flies as a defense mechanism against predators. Found worldwide, especially in warmer regions, mantis flies are small, usually between 5 to 20 millimeters, and have 2 pairs of transparent wings with intricate venation. Their larvae are sometimes parasitic, targeting spider egg sacs for nourishment. Mantis flies showcase convergent evolution independently, developing mantis-like forelegs, and their defensive mimicry helps them thrive in diverse habitats. And no, mantis flies are not aggressive towards humans. They may look intimidating due to their mantis-like forelegs and wasp-mimicking appearance, but they pose no harm to people. Mantis flies are predatory, only towards smaller insects which they ambush and capture with their specialized forelegs. Their mimicry of stinging insects like wasps is purely a defense strategy to avoid being eaten by predators, not an indication of aggression. So while they look fierce, mantis flies are harmless to humans but would rather avoid contact than confront it.
Míralo, míralo, mi papá bailando con mira, mira.
Next, we've got a family enjoying a cozy bonfire night with laughter filling the air. This man is holding a child in his arms, swaying back and forth behind the fire. You can even hear the claps from the people behind the camera. But then something eerie happens that turns this heartwarming moment into a scene straight out of a horror movie. Well, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but you get it. As the man dances, a ghostly figure suddenly appears, trailing him closely. This figure isn't just lurking in the background, it seems to be following his every move. When he steps to the right, it follows. When he sways to the left, it mirrors him, as if it's trying to stay as close as possible. What makes this even more unsettling is the appearance of the figure. It's transparent, almost like a shadow or a wisp of smoke, but it has a distinct form. Its arms are stretched out, and it seems to be reaching toward the child, almost as if it's trying to take the child from the man's arms. The figure's movements are eerily synchronized with the man's, making it impossible to dismiss it as just a trick of the light or a camera glitch. The most terrifying part, no one noticed this figure in real time. It wasn't until the family reviewed the footage later that they realized what had been captured on camera. We don't have a context to the footage, so we cannot tell if this is a family member or just some random entity.
Míralo, míralo, mi papá bailando con mira, mira.
These days, fewer people are tuning into traditional TV. With everyone streaming or scrolling through social media, live shows just don't get the attention they used to. Attendance has dropped, and the excitement of a packed audience seems to be fading. But it looks like some event organizers might have found a solution, or perhaps a rather disturbing one.
De La Hoya's girl, wife? What is that? That shit looks uncanny as fuck. Fuck no. Look at that.
A man was watching a boxing match when he noticed something strange in the audience. Behind the ring, among the sea of spectators, was a woman. A very odd-looking woman. She was seated, staring straight at the ring, but something about her appearance was off. The man paused his TV, and that's when things got really strange. As you focus on the woman, it becomes clear that she doesn't look real at all. Her face was expressionless, almost like that of a mannequin. If this woman is indeed fake, it raises some unsettling questions. Are organizers now filling seats with fake audience members to make shows appear more popular than they are? And if so, how many more of these artificial spectators might be out there blending in with the crowd? Just imagine a stadium filled with fake people, with loudspeakers playing recorded cheers to simulate the excitement of a live crowd. It's a bizarre and eerie thought, isn't it? What do you think about this strange discovery? Could this be the future of live shows, or is there something else going on here? Share your thoughts in the comments. We're curious to hear what you think.
Are we just gonna ignore De La Hoya's girl, wife? What is that? That shit looks uncanny as fuck. Fuck no. Oh, look at that.
Holy. Oh my god. Yo, come look at this. Look at that, dude.
A man shared this footage he'd taken in the sky right above a residential area. It was a saucer-shaped object that was flying in the sky. The object moved slowly and steadily for a few moments before coming to a stop. It remained stationary in the sky for several seconds before suddenly accelerating and disappearing from view at a staggering speed. Some people think the video isn't real because these days it's pretty common to use computer tricks to make things look real even when they're not. But then some believe in the authenticity of the sighting, pointing to the sheer improbability of fabricating such a convincing encounter. After all, stranger things have happened in the realm of UFO sightings and unexplained phenomena. What's your take?
Holy. Oh my god. Yo, come look at this.
A man had parked his car one early morning around 5 a.m. There was a lot of fog, and he thought he was all alone until this appeared. Directly ahead, emerging from the haze, was a shadowy figure standing just off to the side of the woods. The figure had a humanoid shape, but seemed still. It stood there, facing him, silent and motionless. The figure didn't budge, didn't make a sound. It was as if it was watching him, just standing there, barely visible, but with an unmistakable presence. The whole thing was a tad eerie, and it left him thinking, what if this wasn't human at all? The figure seemed too calm, too composed for a person lost in the woods. Could it be a skinwalker or some other being? When you decide to go camping, you have to be ready for anything that might come your way, especially when you're out in the wild where the unknown lurks.
What the hell is that? What the hell is that, man?
A man experienced this firsthand during a solo camping trip in the woods. In the dead of night, he woke up with the urge to relieve himself. As he stepped out of his tent, something caught his eye just a few meters away, partially hidden behind some bushes. There, in the darkness, he saw it, a pair of glowing eyes staring right back at him. But that wasn't all. As he focused, he noticed a shadowy arm emerge from the bushes. The creature's gaze locked onto the man who was frozen in fear, his camera capturing the unsettling encounter. The creature was shrouded in the shadows of the night, making it impossible to determine what it was. Was it just a nocturnal animal, its eyes reflecting the light? Or was it something more mysterious, perhaps a cryptid, one of those legendary creatures that people whisper about but rarely see?
What the hell? Bro, it's got hands!
Let's dive into this unsettling footage taken by Daniel O'Neill. a YouTuber based in the UK who often shares videos of his solo camping adventures. In this particular video, something eerie unfolds, leaving viewers with more questions than answers.
Someone's been here. There's a lot of rubbish around here. Yeah, look at the state of this.
It started off as a typical day for Daniel. After wandering through the woods, he found a spot to set up camp for the night. He settled in, brewing some coffee and waiting for his noodles to cook. Everything seemed normal until the unsettling moment occurred. Did you hear that? The sound of steady footsteps echoed through the trees. Daniel, puzzled, looked around but saw no one. Concerned but trying to stay calm, he called out, "Hello?" And just like that, the footsteps stopped. It was as if someone or something was watching him and didn't want to be seen. Thinking it might have been his imagination, Daniel returned to his meal, but the sound started again only to stop abruptly once more. As day turned into night, the unease grew. The footsteps returned, this time louder and more deliberate. At this point, fear took over. Daniel decided he wasn't going to risk spending the night there. He quickly packed up his gear and moved to another spot, hoping to find some safety. This situation is beyond chilling. Imagine being alone in the woods, hearing footsteps that shouldn't be there, knowing you're miles away from anyone else. It's enough to make everyone's blood run cold. What or who was out there? If it was a person, they were definitely stalking him, and that's a terrifying thought. But what if it wasn't a person? Could it have been something else, something unexplainable lurking in the shadows?
I'm going to be honest. I can't stay here now. I'm going to be a wimp. I don't care if people call me a wimp in the comments, but I can't stay here.
The lady you see on your screen currently is one of our favorite Amazon drivers who's always on time and never seems to mess up our deliveries. She's recorded this clip because she's been trying to tell people that one of the drop-off depots is haunted, and everyone just laughs at her. While a part of me might have considered her story as an excuse for them delivering my Christmas present on the 28th of December instead of the 23rd or 24th, leading me to explain to my nephews and nieces that Santa can be late sometimes, this isn't about me. Anyway, I digress. As she walked into the room, the locks just started opening by themselves even after she had closed them, and they opened again. Nobody believed her, and she was very happy to have caught it on camera. She even shared the clip on a number of paranormal platforms. While many told her she was onto something, a number of individuals pointed out the possibility of the locks malfunctioning. Some also mentioned that there was a CCTV camera in the corner and that it looks if the locks could be remotely controlled, it would be the IT team that was just messing with her. I mean, I don't think that's impossible, but you guys tell me what you think. Could we really be dealing with the machine malfunction, the IT team messing with her, or are there ghosts of individuals whose Christmas gifts weren't delivered on time and were very upset? Anyway, let's hear you out in the comments section.
Got a little camera! Thank God! What?
A truck driver sent this clip, and it's got us all in the office agitated. Listen. Do you hear it? There's someone banging against the container doors. That's not normal and shouldn't be the case. These containers aren't meant to transport living things, talk less humans. Not sure why he didn't help, but perhaps he was scared out of his life. Many who saw this clip are suspecting it's human trafficking, even though it was uploaded on a paranormal platform. What do you guys think?
Banging on the door of that container.
man was walking in the woods at night when he noticed something unsettling, a figure crouched by a tree, watching him. Instinctively, he began to film, and what he captured is truly disturbing. As the camera focuses, a woman in a short white robe slowly stands up, her body trembling uncontrollably. Then, in a series of unsettling sideways steps, she begins to move towards him. Her legs are crooked, adding to the eerie, unnatural way she moves. After a few short steps, she suddenly launches herself towards him with terrifying speed. Let's watch that again and take a closer look at her appearance. This figure doesn't seem human. She has no eyes, just two dark, empty holes where they should be. Her long black hair is tied into two pigtails on either side of her head, adding to her ghostly appearance. Her mouth is wide open, but what's truly disturbing is that her mouth isn't just on her face. It extends unnaturally to the side of her head, as if her very anatomy is twisted and wrong. This sight is beyond unsettling. It's as if she's something from a nightmare, something that defies the normal rules of human appearance. Whatever it is, it's clear that it's not human. This is exactly why you should think twice before venturing into the woods after dark. Just a few months ago, on June the 26th, a woman decided to take a hike in the woods of Ohio after sundown. What started as a peaceful walk quickly turned into something straight out of a horror movie.
Yeah. Hi. Hi. I can't go home. Please, I'm leaving.
As she made her way deeper into the forest, an uneasy feeling crept over her. You know, that gut feeling you get when something's just not right. She couldn't shake it, so she pulled out her phone and began filming her surroundings. That's when she noticed it, something lurking behind a nearby tree. At first, it was just a faint glow, almost imperceptible. But as she focused the camera, the glowing eyes became clear. They were attached to a massive dark figure that blended so well with the night that you could barely make out its outline. But it was there, watching her. Understandably shaken, the woman decided it was time to leave. But as she hurried out of the woods and into a clearing, she realized that whatever this thing was, it wasn't done with her. The creature followed her out of the woods, and now under the open sky, she could see it more clearly. It was enormous, towering over the landscape, and those glowing eyes seemed almost unnatural. Some, like Aaron, are convinced that what she encountered was a Bigfoot, a legendary creature that's been part of folklore for generations. But others, like Julius, are more skeptical, dismissing the footage as nothing more than a hoax designed to scare people. But what do you also think?
Hi. I can't go home. Please, I'm leaving.
If you're a member of the paranormal or conspiracy community, you're probably familiar with the theory that the moon landing might have been staged. Rumor has it that on the outskirts of Las Vegas, there's a vast piece of land that some claim was the site where the 1969 moon landing footage was recorded. The terrain is said to have an eerie resemblance to the surface of the moon that was shown to the world during the famous broadcast. The theory suggests that the entire moon landing was a hoax directed by none other than Stanley Kubrick, the acclaimed filmmaker. Some believe Kubrick was chosen for his expertise in creating realistic scenes, as seen in his work on 2001: A Space Odyssey. Speculators believe that with the intense space race going on between the US and the Soviet Union at the time, faking the landing would have been a strategic move to ensure America's victory. This conspiracy has been circulating for decades, raising questions about the footage, the shadows, and the way the flag moved. But the truth remains up for debate. What do you make of this? Diamonds are famously known as one of the hardest minerals on Earth, cherished for their durability and sparkle. But did you know diamonds might do more than just sparkle? Scientists recently suggested that if we launched diamond dust into the atmosphere annually, we could potentially lower Earth's temperature by up to 3 degrees. The tiny diamond particles would reflect sunlight in a space, acting as a sunshade to help counteract climate change. The real question, though, is whether we'd be prepared to make the atmosphere glitter like that. What do you think? Could diamonds really be our unexpected ally in cooling the planet? When most people come across creatures like skinwalkers or other cryptids, their first instinct is to run. But in this rather shocking encounter, one man decided to do the exact opposite.
I know he's right there.
It all began when he was suddenly awakened in the middle of the night by a strange noise coming from outside. Instead of ignoring it, he grabbed his phone and stepped outside to investigate, a decision that would lead him to a truly unsettling discovery. The eerie noise drew him towards a massive tree in his yard. As he cautiously approached, his phone's camera captured something perched at the very top of the tree. It was a pale, ghastly head with glowing eyes, staring down at him from the darkness. The creature seemed to be watching him intently, its eyes glowing ominously against the night sky. The sheer size of the tree and the height at which the creature was perched made the sight all the more terrifying. But what's truly remarkable is that the man didn't turn and flee. He stood his ground, documenting the encounter. Now, if I were in his shoes, I wouldn't even have stepped outside after hearing strange noises, let alone ventured close to that tree. But you have to admit, this guy has nerves of steel. What could this creature have been?
I know he's right there.
Can somebody please explain this to me? How does the mirror know what the heck I'm doing behind it? Like, there's no way it could see me wiggling my finger through it. Let's go bigger. There's no way. Oh, you're kidding, bigger.
This man was completely shocked by what he discovered. He held a piece of paper up to a mirror, pressing it against the surface with his fingers. Now, as he wiggled his fingers behind the paper, they were hidden from view, at least that's what you'd expect. But when he looked at the reflection from the side, something strange happened. The mirror showed his fingers wiggling even though they were completely covered by the paper. Intrigued, he tried the experiment again, this time using a larger object to block his fingers, and yet the result was the same. The reflection still showed his fingers moving, as if the mirror was somehow seeing through the object. His reaction was pure disbelief. He repeated the process multiple times, each time more shocked than the last. The mirror's reflection seemed to defy the laws of physics, showing something that should have been impossible. What could be causing this strange phenomenon?
Oh, you're kidding, bigger. Right in the middle. I give up. I can't wrap my brain around it. I'm done.
A subscriber recently sent in 2 fascinating and highly controversial images of clouds, and what they captured is quite wild. You know how sometimes we see shapes in the clouds that resemble animals or objects? Well, this is one of those instances, but on a much larger, more surreal scale. The first image they shared appears to show a massive cloud formation shaped like Godzilla. Yes, the infamous monster from the movies, and it's spot on. You don't even need to look twice. The second image gets even crazier. It depicts Godzilla's head with its mouth open and a bright beam shooting out from it, like its signature atomic breath. Now, I know we often talk about pareidolia, our brain's tendency to find familiar shapes in random patterns, but this one really does look uncanny. It's almost too perfect to be mere coincidence. Could the clouds be showing us something beyond the ordinary? Buying ready-made food can sometimes feel like a gamble. You don't know who made it, how it was prepared, or even what exactly you're eating. And as unsettling as that sounds, this next story takes it to a whole new level. Someone ordered a meal from a food spot, and when they opened the container, they found something very strange sitting right on top of the food. They pulled it out and held it closer to the camera to get a better look. What did they see? What looked like a human eye, not just any eye, though a closed one with thick lashes, eyelid folds, and the surrounding skin still intact. It had golden brown color like it had been deeply fried. Now, people online are torn. Some are trying to keep calm, saying it's probably an animal part, maybe from a pig or a cow. Others aren't so convinced because the shape, the lashes, and the texture look disturbingly human. No one's confirmed what it actually is, but looking at the footage, you understand the concern. It doesn't look like any pig or cow part at all. Let's just hope this is a misunderstanding, because if it's not, then someone needs to call the police. And with that, we end today's episode. Thank you for staying with us. Before you go, are there clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is you can share them with us and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have.
Send this to someone you love, and I'll see you in the next one.